The internet is abuzz with the news. Stellar Blade has fallen. Shift Up has been compromised. They have hired a DEI specialist. Shift Up, you are the chosen one! Except none of that's true. Sorry guys, you can actually rest at ease. You have fallen for it. You've been had. Stellar Blade and Shift Up is fine. And I'm about to explain why. Welcome back to Words of Paradise. I'm your host, Leon Idol. And this all went viral due to Pirate Nation, of course, not doing his proper research. A couple days ago, this post went viral with Pirate Nation stating, after 13 years at PlayStation, DEI specialist Jérôme Benzadon is joining Shift Up as head of global communications. His professional profile lists product and corporate communications as one of his great areas of expertise, with a focus on DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. Benzadon has more than 20 years of experience in video game communications, having worked with PlayStation, Ubisoft, and THQ. His role over the company's global communications and campaigns, including major games such as Stellar Blade and NIKKE. And as you can see, they have highlighted in his bio on his LinkedIn a focus on DEI. The story was later amplified by large YouTubers like Chibi Reviews, saying Stellar Blade might be getting censored and Shift Up as a whole. Was sent this image in my DMs, and upon looking it up, Shift Up hired a DEI specialist, PlayStation executive, as head of global communications. Now this doesn't definitively mean it's cooked, but red flags are here. And yeah, I would agree those are red flags if you had looked into it and done any sort of follow-up or real investigation into it, but no, as someone who actually did look this up, and I'm going to give you guys an overwhelming amount of evidence, there's not a single red flag, and in fact, all the flags seem to be green when you look at the evidence. One of the first big points of contention for people that he has ESG prominently displayed on his LinkedIn account from the years of 1998 to 2003. And why is that a point of contention when it's 1998 to 2003? And also, undereducation. ESG wasn't exactly a booming bastion of conversation in the late 90s and early 2000s. Also, what's it have to do with education? Well, the fact that it is a school. Yes, he went to a school called École Supérieure de Gestion. I'm sure I butchered that pronunciation, and it is in fact nothing more than a business school in Paris. Makes sense considering he himself is from, or at least currently lives, in Paris. So the freak out over ESG out the gate was a nothing burger. On top of that, if you look at his resume, he's been in the gaming industry pretty much since graduating, at least since 2005, if not earlier, and is still in it to this day, with a slew of different companies and pretty much the entire same role since he's been there. PR, public relations. Again, a role that's been around for ages. You can even find interviews with him once he got his job at PlayStation in 2013, and it's pretty benign stuff. Take a look at this interview from a French gaming outlet that I've since translated. The floor is given to Jérôme Benzadon, Senior PR Manager, PlayStation France. And I want you guys to pay attention to how he answers these questions. Just before Christmas, you postponed the release of Uncharted 4 by a month to the end of April 2016. With only a few months until its release, isn't it a bit risky to postpone such an anticipated title again? The decision to delay Uncharted 4's release by a month came directly from Naughty Dog. When Bruce Starley and Neil Druckmann, the guys behind The Last of Us, asked for 5 more weeks, you say yes without even thinking twice. The most important thing is that the game is the best it can be when it's released. The end of the year was always a crucial period for manufacturers and publishers. With 5.7 million PS4s sold during this time, did Sony meet its targets for the end of 2015? We certainly had a good end of the year, and we're very happy about that. Unfortunately, I can't tell you anything about the objectives. Well, let's turn our attention to 2016 and one of the year's major trends, virtual reality. Sony will be entering the fray with its PlayStation VR, whose price and release date are still unknown. Can we expect an affordable price point, lower than Oculus, to reach a wider audience? I will simply quote my CEO, Andrew House, who announced last September that PlayStation VR will be available at the price of a new gaming platform. Hideo Kojima's next title, his first with his new studio, will be released on PlayStation 4. A special relationship seems to have developed between creator of Metal Gear and Sony, as evidenced by recent photos of him and Mark Cerny visiting Sucker Punch, Infamous. Could Kojima Productions eventually become one of the brand's official suppliers like Naughty Dog or Sucker Punch itself? Hideo Kojima and PlayStation have always had a special relationship. This exclusive partnership with Kojima Productions is excellent news for us. I mean, just look at the smile on Andrew House's face in the video to see for yourself. Now, whether they'll become a first-party studio owned by Sony, like Naughty Dog, Sucker Punch, or Polyphony Digital, or remain a secondary studio, an external studio developing exclusively for us, like Quantic Dream, for example, will only be known, but nothing's been announced yet. You notice how that was completely normal PR speak? I mean, if we're trying to tie this guy to DEI, I'm gonna need some more evidence. The dude just talks like any other PR guy you'd expect to talk. He goes in, he gets interviewed, he answers questions, and by the way, this is France we're talking about. France, you know, Ubisoft, one of the leading countries when it comes to DEI. You would think that if this dude was all in on it, he would find ways to slip it in any place he could. Now, to be fair, these are older interviews. We're talking about the PS4 era, which obviously DEI wasn't really even a term yet, but there was still culture war-esque ideas happening. This is still in a post-Gamergate world where questions like these were frequently being asked by journalists. But no, it seems like everything he's done has just been on the up and up, and it's done things like organizing for PlayStation events. For example, you've got this article from jvfrance.com saying, interview with Jérôme Benzadon at PGW 2013. During the last Paris Games Week, our colleagues at Federation of Geek took the time to interview Jérôme Benzadon, the communications manager of PlayStation France. This is an opportunity to learn even more about the PS4, and in particular about the fact that there will indeed be consoles available on November 29th for those who have not pre-ordered the PlayStation 4. Now, unfortunately, Federation of Geek is actually defunct. It was a very short-lived French gaming outlet and just nerdy news outlet in general from about 2013 to 2016. Website is completely down. It just gives you a site can't be reached error. But they do have some things on the Wayback Machine, so I figured, all right, let's check the Wayback Machine, see what sort of things they were covering. Was there anything ideological happening at Federation of Geek? And no, doesn't seem like it. As you can see here, it seems like pretty benign stuff. Articles about Ninja Turtles and Batman. Really no different than what you see from Kotaku pre-Gamergate. But you know what? Maybe that's not good enough for you. Maybe I've not given you guys definitive enough information that this guy is on the up and up. Well, how about we just take a list at all of his credits? If he's been working in the game industry this long, certainly that should be enough. Damn, what a list! Everything from the recently released Soros to WWE SmackDown vs. Raw 2009, all the way back in 2008. Tom Clancy's Hawk 2, Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon, Space Hulk Deathwing, Call of Juarez, Gunslinger, Might and Magic. I mean, the list goes on and on. MLB The Show, Marathon. I bet he regrets that credit. But also, look at what his role is in all of them. PR and influencer managers. PR and influencer managers, PR and influencer managers, PR and influencer managers, PR manager, France. Special thanks to Stereum on Thanks. Stereum on Thanks. I have no idea what that means, but maybe that just means special thanks in France. EMEA PR manager, EMEA PR specialist, EMEA PR specialist, EMEA marketing and PR specialist, PR coordinator, EMEA senior PR specialist, EMEA senior PR specialist, managers public relations, global public relations, EMEA senior PR specialist, and PR manager France. And not a single one of those credits for any of the games he's worked on, and I use the term worked on loosely because, well, again, he's just a PR guy, but in none of them do I see DEI. In none of them do I see that his job and his role and his title had anything to do with DEI. Again, this is stuff that was so simple to Google and so easy to look up. Why are we running with these narratives on X that they hired a DEI specialist? Why? Oh, because it was in his LinkedIn bio. And that's the interesting part. Now, it was in his LinkedIn bio, and now it's not. But there's a pretty simple explanation for that, if you ask me. DEI consultancy is a currency in the Western gaming space. Now, it shouldn't be. Y'all know me. I'm anti-DEI. I made my entire YouTube career off talking mad shit on Sweet Baby Inc. That being said, if we're being objective and realistic, DEI and that sort of terminology on a resume is a currency. And that's really what LinkedIn practically is. Just an online resume so that you can show off to other potential job applications or other, potential people and peers within your group, within your profession. Yeah, you're going to want to have all the right buzzwords to increase your chances of getting hired. It really is just that. Social currency. But if you get a job in South Korea, working for a company that's known to staunchly stand against DEI, in fact, well then yeah, it would make sense to remove it from your bio, because it's not worth anything. There's no currency factor if you're going to work for a company that doesn't value DEI. He didn't remove it, or at least I can't say definitively he didn't, but I don't see any logical reason to assume that he removed it because of some internet backlash. These DEI people are proud of it. They shout it from the rooftops. No, he probably removed it because it just can't be used in the way that it's able to be used here in the West when working for a South Korean company. In fact, when you look at his Instagram, he's right here, posing next to the original Eve. Do you think that's something that somebody who absolutely loves DEI would do, considering all that DEI-based attacks on Eve when Stellar Blade launched? What about the photo right next to it? Homeboy's at a Megadeth concert. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't know too terribly many people that are big Megadeth fans that are also super keen on DEI. Or what about the pictures right below that where he's saying his new addiction is Crimson Desert? Please, someone show me the DEI in Crimson Desert. Now I'll give it to you. There's also Ghost of Yotei and Saros, but, well, again, he was the senior PR guy for PlayStation. Does kind of make sense that he'd be advertising those regardless whether those are DEI-laden slop games. Yeah, maybe that's just the guy's job, and maybe did his job relatively well. I'm not even saying that he is anti-DEI. I know a lot of these people in the West, especially in France, are actually very pro-DEI. This isn't me saying, hey, he's one of us, he's a chud. But I am saying people are absolutely jumping the gun, and there's been nothing about his resume or the work he's done that has shown he had any hand in DEI specialization, minus the thing he put on a public website resume as a social currency. This is the sort of thing that will get narratives going and will actually, in my opinion, harm the cause of people who want to really get this ideological infestation out of gaming. Gaming actually does have ideological infestation in it. We're seeing it run rampant with games like Wolverine, for example. So use those examples. We've got them over and over. We know the the stink of Sweet Baby Inc. is rife within companies like Insomniac. Shift Up has done nothing but have goodwill towards gamers, even going so far as to, allegedly, if I recall, fire a couple of female employees because of their rampant feminism. And the rumors are the reason they split ways with Sony and went self-published is strictly to get away from the censorship so they could do what they want to do without the ties to another company that's funding them. Does that seem like the sort of company that would hire a DEI specialist? You just gotta use your fucking heads. That's what it boils down to. Just use your fucking head for a moment instead of jumping towards every possible thing that can cause any major outrage. It took me like 30 minutes to gather all this information. I will probably be editing this video longer than it took me to just look all this up and realize, nah, the dude seems pretty fine. Now, it'll remain to be seen, and if I'm wrong in the future, if Stellar Blade Blood Rain comes out and it's censored as shit, I'll hold this L. But I kind of fucking doubt I'll have to. But these are just my opinions. Let me know yours in the comments down below, or let me know on X, where you can find me at Bolt the Word, and please do subscribe. I am a nerdy news channel. I cover nerdy news every day. Not always about the gaming industry, but anime, movies, music, Magic the Gathering, you name it. Check us out on Instagram at wordsofparadise_Leon, and become a member for $4.99 a month. You can join the Discord, choose the articles we go over on a day-to-day basis, choose the videos we react to on the daily streams, and of course get involved with over 200 other vital idols. We are a bright, beautiful, glowing, vibrant community that I cannot wait to grow even further, because we do care about diversity. Only one kind of diversity of thought that's interesting to you. Join the Discord to subscribe, and until next time, it's all here in the Nerdosphere. This has been Words of Paradise.